From years of doing this work and interviews with people all around the world, from Europe and the UK to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, one thing I've heard so many different times is that, quote, I feel like I'm taking 3 steps forward and 10 steps back. Why? Why is this such a common thing? And it's so common because there is something behind it. There's a mechanism, there's a truism, there's a human reaction behind this. So we come into conflict with ourselves when we try to improve ourselves. When we think about it spiritually, we're like, okay, I'm choosing to be out of alignment with my past self in order to become more in alignment with the person that I am choosing to be. So this is a spiritual thing, but it's also an intellectual thing. It's also a physical thing. When you try to become a better person, your current self attacks, and we activate that part of the nervous system that goes into fight or flight. The thing is, we are in fight or flight with ourself. Well, why is that? Well, this is because we're actually very strong. We're survivalists. Our human legacy is adaptation. But there's a part of us that is very, very old, that caveman part of us. Like physiologically, we are still the same people as we have been for many, 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 many generations. And if we look back into this era where, we really were under threat by anything different, that has encoded down to a genetic level. So when we were cavemen and there were saber-toothed tigers and there were woolly mammoths and there were other tribes that had different diseases that our bodies were never exposed to, well, different equal bad. We don't know what that berry is. It might kill us. And you'll even see this in small children where they want really bland food. And the reason that children are hardwired to want really bland, boring food is because if they didn't, so many kids would die by eating poisonous stuff. So they want the same thing over and over again because our bodies know that it's safe. And this is often why we repeat patterns. It's often when we are in distress or anxious, we'll watch the same TV shows over and over again, or we'll listen to the same song over and over again. We want that familiarity. We want to know that we are safe. But then we're in conflict with ourselves because on one level, our body is saying different equals bad. And logistically, different action equals different, and different behavior equals different results. And if we're trying to change our life, that's exactly what we want. So we are automatically in fight with our own body and with our own self. So then the big question becomes, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? This is when we want to look over and over again at cause and effect. And I will be saying this to you forever: cause and effect. When you are looking to trust a new person or a new relationship, you want to look at cause and effect, not what they're telling you, but what is the effect of the actions? What is the effect of your feelings when you're around this person? Does this person have a path of destruction behind them? Or do they make every environment and every place and every situation a little bit better and brighter? Is your life better when they are in it? And this is true for every diet, every program, every person, every job, every friendship, every partner. Look to cause and effect. Ignore what they're saying to you. Look to cause and effect. And this will actually calm your body down. And this is how we get the results that we want. Because when our bodies are like different equals bad, we stay in that place until our bodies trust down to a physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual level where we know that this is no longer a threat. So let's say there are two tribes who are living in the savannah side by side. When they see each other at first, there will be a lot of distrust, right? You'll even see this when you introduce two different animals into your family, like a dog and a cat, or a new puppy comes in. The one animal will try to figure out, is this a threat? And the longer they're in proximity with each other and nothing bad happens, the animal calms down. And it's the same thing with us because, surprise, surprise, we're animals. When we see that what we're doing is no longer a threat, that parasympathetic nervous system calms down. It calms down. and we relax and we know that this is no longer a threat. But that does mean we have to stay uncomfortable for some time until our bodies, minds, spirits, souls realize that this is not a threat. Meaning, there might be times when you're trying to do something new where you'll feel sick to your stomach. You may get a headache. I've had rashes. I've had people have all sorts of things from intestinal stuff, like when you get nervous. That's just your body trying to keep things the same because your body is hardwired to just keep you alive. That's it. Doesn't care if you're happy, doesn't care if you're thriving, doesn't care if you're exploring, doesn't care if you're walking in your new purpose. Your body just wants to keep you not dead. But your soul wants to expand, like the universe is always expanding. So when your body trusts your own soul, your spirit, your intellect, your intuition enough that you can stand in that fire, and it is an act of faith, it's always an act of faith with yourself, to stand in that fire long enough to allow yourself to calm down. And that little bit of tension is our spiritual and emotional growing pains. And if we have been in elevated emotional danger for a long time, that unfortunately, we may have to stand in that fire for quite some time. And I feel you, I hear you. If that's where you are right now, I had to be in that state for a very, very long time. My emotional life was very dangerous for a very, very long time. But when you start to trust yourself by seeing that the results of the actions you are now taking are doing more good than harm, your body starts to calm down. You build self-trust, you build self-confidence, and then you're able to go out and explore and do the different actions and have the different behaviors that equal the different results. It's a matter of training your body that different doesn't always equal bad.